All right, welcome back, everyone. I'd say 90% done with this box, this Milwaukee job site radio that's been custom modified to fit inside my custom wooden box. As you're looking down the inside there, what you see right there is the auxiliary input that would have been for the Milwaukee radio that you see kind of hot glued in place, and it's bondoed on the outside that has been painted or technically stained. These leads that you see right here, one yellow, technically that's red. It kind of looks orange in the camera, but technically that's red. And then a black. There's technically two blacks there. The line level, the high put out from the radio, gets split. And it follows this thin wire right here. Right? And you follow the thin wire, and it gets a pass through here. But on the other side, it gives the low level inside, or the input, the low level input on the Dayton audio amplifier right there. And the same with the right channel, which would technically be the left channel because this is upside down. It's facing the wrong direction, but left and right aside doesn't really matter. So here is a wiring schematic, if that helps you out a little bit. So we take the radio, we got the high level output, positive and negative, spring terminal clamp that you cannot see because I got it turned upside down is underneath here. So that's where that goes. That way I can run a separate subwoofer in the future. I can tap right into that source. Then I tapped into the low level input, which would have been the auxiliary input for this Dayton Audio Bluetooth sound system. All these circles or dots represent splices where another wire is joined. The little horseshoe or arch shape right there just means that this wire is not in contact with this wire and that it goes over it, right? That's all that means. So from the Dayton Audio amp, I didn't draw in the crossovers or the tweeters. I think you get the general idea from the amp. It goes to the drivers, right? Positive, negative, whatever way they happen to fall. And of course, I have not only the original set of batteries, but I stacked a second set of batteries underneath there. It may be hard to discern that, but there is another set of batteries underneath there. A lot of wires going everywhere. It can be a logistical nightmare. I did test the mono output, which I thought might have been good for a subwoofer or maybe even a line out for low power for something else. There is nothing going on through there, so I took out that terminal clamp. I'm going to use that for just passing through like my auxiliary cable when I want to plug in directly, because I think you lose a little bit of information personally when you're listening to music through the Bluetooth, and sometimes Bluetooth will give you a little bit of static too, which I don't really like. So a hardwire connection is always better than a signal connection, in my opinion. I don't know, I'm sure the technology will get better in the future. Just like when people call up my shop and they're on their Bluetooth phone, it just sounds like crap. To me, that's all I hear is. Well, the Bluetooth, when I'm listening to Bluetooth, I hear that too in the background. When I'm playing from my phone through the speakers, I hear that static, that same static playing through nice drivers, right? I hear it. So a hard connection is always going to be better than a wireless connection. It's going to be a little bit faster. It's going to sound a little bit cleaner. And it may look unsightly because there's a wire hanging out, but oh well. It is what it is. Most of the time, I leave my phone on top of my box anyway, and once it's all done, I'll show you the complete reveal. We'll do a little sound test, and I'll bring my old one that I built for work. It's still working fine. I use it every day of the week, 8 or more hours a day, 5 days a week, unless I happen to get off work early. And I think it's been more than a year since I last built that thing. It just uses 3 these 18650 batteries. I get about 3 to 4 days running time depending on how loud I have to listen to it. But I usually like it as like a background type noise. No, just enough to hear it every now and then. If there's a good song, I'll put up a few more notches, or if the fans are running, the heater's running, or anything else, loud cars, loud trucks, whatever else. Of course, you have to turn up the volume, but it is what it is. But what a wiring nightmare this is. But it did sound pretty good from when I was testing it. I did have to move something over. I got my memory battery being charged right now, which happens to be a LiPo that's completely dead. And if I remember right, the batteries that kept the memory for this radio were only like 2 AA's or 2 AAA's or something like that. I used a single cell LiPo. It did the job for a very long time. I stuck it back on the charger. It actually said failed, so I stuck it on a different charger. We have a red light right now. Whether it's charging or not, I don't know. I do have a backup plan with another 18650 battery that's also on the charger. That also has that micro JST connector that you see way back there. Let's see if we can zoom in on that little guy. You can see, yeah, that you can see right there. So I have a backup plan for memory because there's nothing worse than having all your favorite radio stations lost and you have to manually scan through everything. And of course with this radio right here, you can adjust the bass and treble controls. How that's actually going to work as far as sound quality on this box, I don't know, because I'm not sure if any of this was designed to cut certain low frequencies to protect this little tiny driver or not. I don't know. But yesterday when I was testing it out without the back on, just listening to the front side, it sounded pretty good. I got some fiber fill out here from an old pillow. We got a bunch of throw pillows from something, I think a comforter set or some sort of bed set. You know, and sometimes they throw in pillows. I didn't like that pillow. My wife didn't like the pillow. It was just like a little decorative pillow. So I just repurposed the guts and I just gently put some in there, right? Just to stop the kind of reflective noise. You know, when the speaker drives one direction, you don't want the reflective noise to come back through the cone and create kind of an echo type effect. You don't want that. So that's the purpose of the fiber fill or sound fill. You can use R13, which is another good choice, which is what I usually use, but I don't have any on hand anymore. So I C-sectioned a pillow for that purpose. Hopefully next time you guys see this, we'll do a sound demo. We'll compare it against my old one to this one, and maybe even see if I can get my hands on a decibel meter. And because microphones on cameras and even other professional recording equipment, they deaden the sound. They'll automatically mute the sound. So you, the listener, can never, ever get the idea of how loud something is. Just like, for example, shooting a 50 caliber weapon will make your ears ring. It will make your ears ring if you're not wearing hearing protection. You will never, ever be able to discern that watching that through your cell phone, watching that through your tablet, listening to it with ear pods, ear pads, whatever the fucking case may be. Speaker boxes, even my home audio system cannot make my ears ring. It can get very loud at times. It can remove pictures from walls, but it will not make my ears ring, right? So keep that in mind. I will be recording with a cell phone camera and microphone, so the audio might not be all that great, but we'll do a test just to let you guys know how it all works out. Other than that, you know, getting ready to throw away something that normally works, but you want to repurpose it. Maybe you got a different idea for something else. Hey, repurpose it, reuse it. Now, I've had this radio for a good number of years. It served its purpose. I was thinking about buying another battery-operated radio, but the battery-operated radios out there, like you buy at Walmart, they absolutely look like shit. They look like little alarm clocks, in my opinion. So I went this route. I wanted to reuse it. Still works. Had to modify an antenna, right? This is the antenna lead. That's what that one single speaker wire comes through right here. I drilled a hole right through here. That's one single speaker wire. I left enough out there where I should hopefully be able to find a signal if I need to. I will do something with that hole later on. I might just leave it open and let cool air come in here and drill a hole somewhere in there to let hot air out, because this will generate some heat. How much, I don't know, but Amplifiers and heat are never a good thing. That being said, have a good day.